Good evening. We are live. Sorry about that, guys. I know a little late and a little gay, but hey, it's okay if you're a little gay. Better than being a lot or all the way. Hope everybody's had a great week so far. Happy Thursday, everybody. One more day till the weekend. Hope it's been really nice where you've been. I mean, for here in Ohio, it's like been no rain for the past 2 weeks. So, I mean, if you're a farmer, it's been horrible, but if you're just a guy who mows his lawn, life's not been too bad. Can you guys hear me all right? Because this is getting a little weird when it does this. That's a shame. Says first. Yeah. Not even close. Not even close. Who got first tonight? First tonight was Toothless. First. Remember, being first is always the most important thing. And because it's not a school night tonight, we're having a little fun. Shopping Ninja says not first. Very accurate. Harbor Warble says not second. You guys get points for being very accurate and honest in your postings. Amateur Iconoclast is not first, just like the Indians. Oof. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Good one. This VR says, if Sean is late, you know he's posting something serious on Kiwi Farms. No, I was posting earlier today. Posting about the Great Kub Offensive by the Ukrainian army and, watching all those pictures of those Leopard 2s getting spammed with artillery. Oof. Makes you wonder how bad the Fulda Gap would have been, really. Apparently, I think Rheinmetall sold the German government a bill of goods. Harble saying it'd be funny if I was a major Ralph A-log. No, I just watch. I just watch. I stay out of that pool. I just stay out of that pool. Ralph is Ralph is one of those people where he's kind of like Trump. It's kind of like there's the Trump curse, but there's like the Ralph curse. So I stay away from that, number one. Number two, he's supposedly trying to get clean. So I'm not going to, I don't want to dog somebody too much on that because my clients do that. And my clients working on getting clean. And it's a tough process. So leave that one alone. Get to the super chats in a second. Just want to say hello to 4M, Zero Fox. Who else here tonight? Job well done. Name of some sort. Trot Golfer. Hey, how you doing? Bart and Bella, how you doing? Pike Ace. Amos talking about, the fires in Canada. Yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad here. I thought it was going to rain. There was so much haze in the sky. So, yeah, it was getting really, really ridiculous for a while. Tina, hello. Ginger, hello. Michael, yes, late and pregnant. Thanks. Spets saying, I got the Ukraine and the Belograd Republic's flags. Do you know any good ranges in the area? I moved up here from Youngstown not too long ago. If you're in Cleveland, there's a couple point blanks. There's one in Mentor. There's a couple like small ranges here and there. As far as like ones you have to pay to join, there's like the Alliance done in Alliance. There's like Southington. That's kind of it. I mean, there's more. If you want to like send me an email, we can probably talk. So I hope that gives you a head start at least. I will tell you there's a really good one. It's about like an hour east of Toledo. It's really, really good, but that's like an hour and a half from here. So Dark Seb, hello. Common Lawyer, hello. Locals chat, yeah. Oh God. I'm looking at my checklist too. And I got wrapped up in cleaning dishes. So what I get. That's what I get. Actually have to like read the checklist. I got to read it like a pilot. I got to read it aloud. So yes, we are going to cover what's gone on with former President Trump, and it's not just him getting indicted next week. He has been indicted, from what we understand. I tried looking it up on Pacer, but when you try to click on the Pacer icon and try to go to South Florida, well, it doesn't work too well. Maybe it'll work better now. We'll try. We'll see what happens because I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure I'm going to get it open. Obviously, that is coming from somewhere involving the classified documents. So we'll see. We'll see what that actually turns into. Marie says too hot. Yeah. It's not been that bad. I'm loud. Well, that's what she said. That's what she said. Hot mic, hot mic. Stop yelling. Overmodulated mic. Sorry, guys. I fixed it. Super hot. I didn't realize I bumped it hard. Next reading Nichols chat log. Jesus. A-Dub says his point blank range only 5 yards long. No, it's like 10, 15 yards, I think. It's long enough. It's long enough you got a pistol, it's fun. I actually think it's 25 yards because I think I took one of my AR builds and zeroed it out there for the 25 300 0. So watch as I need a beer. Yeah. Okay, you guys are whining about my. Oh, Ralph follows you, Jim. Damn, that's nice. God, I gotta catch up, you guys. Your mic is up still. I turned it down. I thought about court listener, but I just didn't get that far yet. So, 20 yards is normal training distance. Yeah. Yes, Mary, that is. Yes. It's still too high. I turned it down. How about now? This is better. Is it better? The gain is high. Well, okay. Well, that's a little bit outside what I can do here. Okay, they're fucking with me now. It's too low. Ashley's like, they're fucking me. Maybe they are. I don't know at this point. Who knows? Taylor Cooks is a 225 yard zero. Who the fuck uses that? It's very, very eclectic. Let's see what's going on over in the Rumble ghetto. Oh, they can hear me. It's not working. People on YouTube don't know how to adjust their own volume. Ooh, I'm talking shit over there. So, Metal Matt says, you're not too high anymore, but I am. You guys are too much tonight. All right. So where are we at with this? Oh, we got a couple more minutes. See if we can get anybody else show up. I will tell you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. I will be on with Jeff from Legal Vices. He invited me on. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but he's asked if I could be on for a little while now. So I'll stop by. It'll be a show just about me. So I promised him I wouldn't make it too glowy. Alexander says, what are we drinking tonight? Well, we are drinking Coors Light, the Silver Bullets. We're not drinking Yellow Jackets tonight. I thought about getting some, and then, because it is, we're going to need to be getting into this when we start talking about things. So we got the wheat whiskey ready to go, but that's for another couple of minutes. You can hear me fine, but what? His booger is distracting. We're drinking SpaghettiOs. Oh, no. So we got some super chats, though, we got to catch up on first. Tarkina for $10. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Says, holy crap, DeSantis just tanked himself. The deep fake AI campaign with Trump kissing Fauci. He is toast and dead to me. You expect that on Aleppo on the right. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, it's only going to get worse from here on out until the primaries are over. So just, I guess, brace yourselves. But yes, I'm a little surprised DeSantis did that. Or his people did that. I thought it was a good idea. Unhung Hero for $2 says, I'm going to come. Don't come. Don't come. Hunch 30 Root for $5. Thank you. The support says 762 by 39 supremacy. Come to the dark side. We appreciate our hard quality seltzer and we have snacks. Well, you can't have too many snacks. There's all the communism, but yeah, I enjoy a good 762 by 39. Have an SKS. Comes with a really cool bayonet. I mean, I use it as a monopod, but yes, comes with a nice bayonet. So though I've thought about getting an AK. Have had one briefly, but then I got rid of it and probably shouldn't have. But c'est la vie. And that's a shame for $4.99. Thank you for the support. It says, had my first jury trial this week. Not guilty on both counts. Congratulations. You know what? That calls for a celebration. Not guilties. Bring home them dubs. Bring home them dubs. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I will say I was set for trial this week. We ended up getting bumped. There was a guy charged with murder. We thought he was going to plea out. He changed at the last minute and decided he wanted to go to trial. So that took precedence over us. He was also in jail. So we got bumped on Monday morning. But I will say that guy got convicted. But I will say to you, you brought home them dubs. You brought it home. You know what? That's a great way to start the career. There's going to be more like this, but I will tell you, enjoy it, because there's going to be a lot of times where, sadly, that's not going to be the case, even though you know that should be the outcome. But still, congratulations. I'm sure your client was thrilled. So, cheers. Mm. 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 Whew. That one bit a little different. But yes, congratulations again. So, where are you guys at right now? Jim is saying we could talk about, I'm going to talk about this with Jeff tomorrow, because I did not get to watch any of that trial that was covered. But yes, the guy got acquitted. It sounds great. I'm still thinking at the end of the day, he probably wished I should have just stayed in my house and called the police, because, like we talked about Curtis Reeves. Yeah, he got acquitted. How many years does that take off your life? Sitting there thinking, I might go home. I might never go home again. Don't ever want to be in that position. So where are we at here? We're almost 15 minutes in. All right, we're going to get started. Ag Biochemist says, I guess it was for hunches and snacks or MREs. The pie cases, yes. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we should start off with this. The Iron Shake. One of the headliners of the WWF back through the 80s and into the early 90s. Fought Sergeant Slaughter in Madison Square Garden in the early 80s as part of the USA versus Iran. Has passed away. He is a very hilarious guy. He gave interviews, a lot of times kind of drunk. If you guys get the chance to YouTube that stuff, check it out because it is fucking funny. It is really, really funny. But yes, sadly he's gone. Outlived most of the guys from that time frame, but still passed away. So maybe he didn't do all that juice after all. So Common Lawyer says, yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, you went to trial with a verdict. You've done what 80% of lawyers haven't, and that's very true. And then you brought it home. And not many can do that. Not many have done that. So congratulations on that again. I know that was hard fought. Where is... Damn, there's Parallax thing. I couldn't find it earlier. All right, guys, time to get started for the real shit. Okay, so if you guys weren't aware, as of yesterday, there was a big story breaking that former President Trump was going to be indicted sometime next week. Well, that kind of happened today. Now, the cynic in me says that it's, well, I mean, let's be real. It covers up a lot of things. I mean, what does it cover up? Well, I mean, one of the biggest things probably right now it covers up is what is going on with the leaks and the emails that show that Biden may have been involved a lot more in Burisma than was initially let on. The House's contempt hearings of Director Wray of the FBI regarding their information they have regarding the pay-to-play schemes run by Hunter Biden for his dad. It also covers up what's going on in Ukraine right now, which, if you aren't watching, holy shit, it's not really good. It is not really good at all. Apparently screaming Slava Ukraini as you get in your tank isn't really going to cut it. Then there's also the dam that got blown up, which, that's a little sus too, but, this is a good time now. So, yes, he had been indicted in the state of New York. This is a federal indictment. He was indicted out of Miami, and these stem from 7 charges regarding the classified documents. Where I'm trying to find one of the counts is conspiracy. We don't know all the counts specifically at this point. I don't the charges have not been unsealed allegedly, but that doesn't mean we can't find them. I've been trying to find them, but we don't know anything about them yet. We don't know the full nature of them. I'm sure these are going to be some very limp dick charges. I mean, this is CNN's probably got, the most I could keep up with here. There'll be a conspiracy charge. It has not been unsealed tonight. And as far as I can tell, I'm going to check Pacer again. Pacer for the Southern District of Florida has just been like on freeze mode. I'm assuming people have basically blown it out of the water trying to get on there to figure, this might load up for me. If it does, I'm going to take a look at it, but I have a feeling that these have not been released. But yes, everybody else, I know you guys are all thinking this reeks of, certainly this is very opportunistic and this is certainly political, and very likely it is. We don't know anything else about it. I do think there are things here that are obviously bullshit, that the White House says they learned of the indictment from news reports. Yes, I'm entirely sure that's the case. Given what they've done in the past couple of years, yes, they've had no connection and notice at all from the DOJ. Not at all. They declined to comment. I'm sure they're declining to comment left and right. Nope. Hold on here. What the heck is this? So, they're declining the comment. Yes, I'm sure that they're declining to comment. I'm not saying, wow, this takes the heat off of Hunter and Joe, but as Joe likes to say, because I've never once, not one single time, suggested to the Justice Department what they should or should not do on whether to bring any charges. I'm honest. Okay. Okay. Sure thing, Joe. Sure thing. Yes, Garrett Pace says multiple counts of shit we just made up. Yes. And like I said, if you don't like Trump, if you used to like him, now you don't like him, if you never liked him, if you are a Democrat and you'll never vote for him ever, or if you're somebody who's going to vote for him going forward, I think we can all agree this is a little fucked up. We're at this point with it. Because based upon the way this was handled, I mean, we're now finding out, we found out about how the documents stuck at Joe Biden's house. These documents are found everywhere. And once again, this just becomes nonsense because we do have other rulings from courts that say they're his papers. They've argued that before multiple times. It'll be curious to see how this gets sorted out. It will be curious to get sorted out. Jacob says, prepare yourself for images of Trump in handcuffs. Yeah, sure. That's going to happen. They're going to try to do something to, they want to get their frog march at some point. And I don't, they'll get it somewhere. And the pacer for Florida Southern District is down. So I guess we're not seeing it at all. Mark Levin went nuclear. Yeah, I'm sure he likes to talk a lot of loud stuff, but the way he reacted on January 6th tells me it all. But yes, this is clear. I mean, we all know what this is. We all do. The big reason why right now I'm trying to be calm is because I want you guys, we all need to be calm. We need to be chill. It's like a Pulp Fiction, man. We need to be like the Fonz. How's Fonzie? He's cool. Right now, you need to be cool. This is partially being done to get somebody out there to do something fucking stupid. And you guys know that. We all know that. They want somebody to go off the rails. Now's not yet. Like I've mentioned before. Is this the time to fire the third paramilitary group amongst your neighbors in your HOA? Not yet. Not yet. That day will come. It's not today. Right now, we got to see what happens. This is, they've elected to kick. The government is elected to kick. So we got to see what happens when they kick the ball. So Pyramid 7 says the process is the punishment. Yeah, for people, most people, for Trump, it's not going to be. Jacob Catcher says juries are going to jury. Tactical Wisdom says, I've arrived. You may proceed. Oh, hello, Joe. How are you doing? But yes, guys, this is, everybody just needs to chill. There will be a time for the anger and the, that to get displayed, but we need, this is being done for many reasons, and that's one of them. I guarantee it. They're just looking for an excuse. Like it's like the meme goes, just poke them with a stick. They're poking with a stick. Come on. Do some seditious shit. Do something. Come on. That's what they're doing. Like I said, now is not the time. Like Bain said, now is not the time for fear. That comes later. Now's not the time for anger. That will come later. And there will be a time for that. Just not right meow. But certainly, yeah. Yes. Jacob Castro's right. Just like Samuel Jackson said, bitch, be cool. Don't respond to Fed ops. And that's what it smells like. So it's gonna be there. So Stabby saying, do you really think 3 years of Obama has given people a reality check? He had 8. You mean Biden? Okay. Even my grandma's talking to me again, and surprisingly based at times. This is where when you hear people talking, and I remember this after Sandy Hook. It wasn't the people I knew who were all about, like, they're not taking my guns. It was the people I hadn't heard before saying, I'm not giving up. And by 2012, just the reactions of people. By 2014, it's not the people you are used to hearing. It's the people you haven't heard before. Like I said, it's what's being said, but who's saying it. And yeah, more and more people. And yes, more and more people are realizing this is all absolute horse shit. But we just got to be cool. Like I said, that time will come. And then, just like Unhung Hero wants to do, you'll be able to come all you want. Just right now, you got to hold it. Got to hold it. Go away. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with taking notes. Nothing wrong with preparing. Downloading Tactical Wisdom TWs 1 through 5, buying them on Amazon, or you can buy it from tacticalwisdom.com. And you save a little bit of money, and a little more money goes to Joe. Nothing wrong with buying the Gorilla's Guide to Ham Radio by NC Scout. There's nothing wrong with doing any of that stuff and getting ready for things. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. It's just not right this second. Just not right this second. That's a shame, says do a Jack Sparrow and wait for the opportune moment. Like I said, guys, I've said it before. You'll know when it's time. You'll know when it's time. When you come out the door and everybody else is strapped, you'll know because everybody else will have their cleats strapped on too. You'll know it's time. It's just not yet. But that means get ready. A-Dub says, do not get a hard copy of MCIP 3-33.01. Jim says, I'd say this is my best action. Actually, they're going to bring the charges to Miami because it's close to Gitmo. And that's where they're going to hold him. Yes, I'm sure Reddit is full of that tonight. I'm sure Reddit is just full of cooming, but let them coom. Let them have their coom. They'll probably eat it too because they're degenerates like that. But for the rest of us, it's time to prepare. There is no trusting in a plan. Don't do that shit. There's no trusting in a plan. There's no Sessions going to save us. Huber, Durham, Q, none of that. Nobody's coming. It's going to be up to us. So, govern yourself accordingly. And I'll leave it on that note for now. If something happens tomorrow, as long as it's, I should be around. I got to make a jail visit tomorrow afternoon. As long as I'm around, if something pops, we'll cover and get ready. Job well done, strap on time. Yes, exactly. That's what I meant. Patty says, Trump better pardon the January 6th political prisoners after he pardons himself. He's never going to pardon them. I mean, if that's the one thing we've learned, he's not going to do any of that stuff. He's better than Biden, but that's not saying much. Porcelain Thunder says, should Trump talk to the feds? No, he should not. And it's even worse that he's running around talking to people like Maggie Haberman from the New York Times. He shouldn't have been doing that either. I mean, I know it's hard for him, but he needs, like we talked about in Sopranos, you need lips like a statue right now. Fractal Failure over on Rumble is mentioning for radio people, keep moving when you're transmitting. Can't be triangulated if you transmit and scoot. Well, actually, the biggest thing about radios is not using them if you don't have to. And if you're using them, burst packet transmissions with directional antennas, like I said, if you get the If you get the if you get this, you don't have to work. You learn how you actually do stuff, but don't. No, you really shouldn't be using your radio at all if you don't have to. That is a better thing to advise you on. Limited burst transmissions, and you better know when you're using a radio and not using a radio. That's how you keep from having a bad day. So, just wanted to cover that because that was mentioned over on the Rumble Ghetto. Sheeple saying, so you should buy large amounts of ammonium nitrate. You should already have large amounts of ammonium nitrate. Swami saying, you don't eat coom, Sean. You mix it with grapefruit soda. I'm going to leave the recipes to you because that sounds like that's an old recipe that you've perfected. Jonathan saying, so wait, is Trump arrested? No, he has not been arrested. He is summoned to appear next week. So, which they know better than to try to do like an FBI raid on him, because who knows how the Secret Service will handle that, but also they try to do a raid like that. I'm sure a lot of people in Florida and South Florida, I mean, let's be real, you'd have a lot of people, because YouTube can't see what I'm doing, you don't know for sure. There'd probably be a lot of noises like this across South Florida as people are getting ready to, they would come out and play pickup with the feds. So I'm sure, and the feds know better than to try to raid them and arrest them. Yes, Joe K saying, but my Durham investigation. Yes. I hung hero for $2 said nobody's coming. Speak for yourself. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I already asked you not to come. Patty saying, oh, he said he would pardon him. Yeah, he says a lot of things. He says a lot of things, boys. Joe says tomorrow is Shut the Fuck Up Friday. Yes, it is. It's always Shut the Fuck Up Friday. Jonathan said, I'd rather have a nice gun than another gun than a nice ham radio. Don't need a nice ham radio. I mean, it's like $20. And I need to get a shorter antenna because I realized from reading and also Risky Krisky over on YouTube, you don't need transmit power like this. You just need a couple of clicks worth of transmitting power. But that's not a ton of money. This does ham. Heck, if you have one of the old ones like I do, this gets you onto lower frequencies unrestricted. So that's between us girls, though. Shh. So you don't need a. You can be Hannah Montana and get the best of both worlds. Andrew W says your grid square would be leveled. Yes, it would not be hard to triangulate. Joe says, Tactical Wisdom, I'll be doing a local stream on Battlefield Basics tomorrow. Very good, guys. If you do, locals.tacticalwisdom or tacticalwisdom.locals.com be a good place to go for that. Risky Krisky, yep, he's got a lot to say about it. Fair Frozen says, for $5, thank you, by the way. Where can you find MCIP 33? Actually, I don't know. You can find it all over. Just Google it. But yes, that is the Small Unit Leader's Guide to Counterinsurgency. You can find it. Low power for directional short. Yes. No cell phones. Yes. As the Russians and Ukrainians have learned from their, over year-long struggle now, this thing is a tattletale, and it's also a great homing beacon. And a lot of the Redditors found that out when they were taking pictures and trying to get upvotes on Reddit. And then they got hit with cruise missiles. So don't use these. Not even shut them off. Don't take them. Faraday bag these. So, let's go, Brandon, for $4.99. Hey, man, how you doing? Says, which justice presides over the 11th Circuit? I think it's Thomas. Let's go to circuit assignments. Who is it? For the 11th Circuit, it's your boy, Clarence Thomas. So that is good news. I forgot, but yes, it's Clarence Thomas. Which, hey, him and Donnie T are, broskies. Nice Belfang. Thank you, Joe. It says Risky's Raiders. Yeah. The real face says, I want one of those. You should be able to get on it. Well, oof. I don't know about Canada, Stan. They might show up at your house, but you can get them on Amazon. Oh, Joe posted that on his uncle's. Good. That's a shame. Says, why does Sean know everything? I don't, guys. I am a half retarded monkey who wears pants. And that's some days. Some days I can't figure it out. So some days I wear pants. A lot of days it's just shorts. But no, I am a half retarded monkey when it comes to this stuff. So I know a lot of things because I've been reading, and I've been in and around this stuff for years now, decades now. But yeah, if people like Joe over at Tactical Wisdom, there's other people out there you guys can follow along with and gain a lot of the necessary learning that you have it in time. So let's go. Brandon says precisely a shit will be overturned at the end of the line. Silent. Oh, eventually, yeah, it will be, but we got to get to the end. There's a long, yeah, that's a long way away, and I'd rather we not get to that point. So, Chester in front says never go full monkey. It's really hard for me not to do that because I'm pretty much already there. Pyramid 7 says Joe's badass. Great channel. Yes, it is. Yes. So, all right, guys, that's just put a pin in this one. To be determined, and we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, once he, as soon as I typed that out loud, Trump indicted next week ? And left it alone. The future Mrs. Martin 2.0 is like, oh, he got indicted. It's like, well, I'm not fixing it. It's stuck there. So let's get on to the rest of what we've got going on. Oh. So the next thing, and I guess we'll start off kind of the list I already going. New York City had this is almost straight out of Futurama, basically a drug vending machine. And, we go to our friends at the New York Post. They had a drug vending machine. It was cleaned out overnight. And according to the crackheads, they should restock it, which, hey, at least your customers are giving you the valuable input. They had a drug vending machine, which, yes, it's part of a drug prevention program that allows them to do drugs. Such prevention. Much wow. So they started to restock the machine with drug testing strips to make sure you got good drugs, Narcan and condoms, because, when you're high on heroin, if you're not getting heroin from the needles, even if you get it from the needles, you have to wear protection so you don't transmit it around. And the vending machine gets refilled maybe twice a day. You're not doing this right. You're not doing this right, guys. Come on. We have a lot of addicts and heroin users over here. They should restock it immediately. Oh. And this is pure selfishness in how drug addicts are here. The self-described crack smoker. I think Minoshi. Maybe they consider himself a veteran crack smoker. Walked away with one of the last crack pipes, but it had a fentanyl test strip. Okay, yeah, you want to make sure your crack doesn't have fentanyl in it. And sniff it at the glass for the free pipes might not be up to your standards. Imagine that. You give a crackhead free stuff, and they're going to get mad. You could probably give that crackhead some Shore Boy, and they'll complain that it's not green, steel scrubber pad, and then it's a black scrubber pad. No, the best high comes from the green one, man. They like the Pyrex glass because it's a little thicker. And also lamenting, I can't go sell crack pipes because the programs give it to me for free. Yes, and once again, the government has interfered. The government has destroyed somebody trying to make money in the crack industry. Why? Because now you get free crack pipes. Maybe they're substandard, but hey, it's hard to sell when you're competing against free. So good job, government. You're fucking with more and more stuff now. All you're doing is screwing with things. I kind of jest in a little bit of a libertarian sense here, but how's this crackhead going to afford a crack when you can't get involved? Sure, boys, copper. Yeah, it is copper, but you get the green coated copper. You get a couple different ways. Come on now, Justin. Times get tough for people. They have to make do. Garrett Pace says, give a man a fish, I'll ask for tartar sauce and fries. Yeah. Give a man some crack and I'll ask for a pipe. Yes. Oh, yes, he will. Yes, he will. Oh, and I forgot, they also have, besides free crack pipes and Narcan, they also give you free lip balm. So, hey, you know what you need after a nice night of hitting the pipe? Some chapstick, which from having a lot of clients who do hit the pipe hard, yeah, chapstick is something they really need a lot of. And, yeah, I've had a guy, I saw a guy one time, looked like his lips, he'd split them open with like a pair of pliers. That's how bad he was smoking in the middle of winter, outside. Next to a bus station, just cracked all over. Every time he talked, the guy was about to start bleeding. Just, oof. So, yes, but as the lady claims, the crack pipes are too thin, and every time I pull on the new ones, it burned my lips. Maybe that's a clue to stop smoking crack. I mean, really. Or just handle it like guys when you shoot rifles. If the barrel's starting to heat up, you just put a thermal wrap around it. Come on now. Be creative, my little crack-o. You gotta do it right. I do my little crack here and there. Yeah, I'm sure, just a little bit. You're a little bit. I smoke my pipe and I smoke weed, but I don't lace none of my stuff with stuff. Principal crackhead. Modern day Rockefeller right there. She said, I'm trying to get high, not die, before she ran off the street to go find some crap wrote up. So yes, just so you know, that's yes, I'm sure those are just how to get drug-free treatment brochures. Probably the only thing left in there. So Justin says they trying to burn them crackhead lips. Damn, man. Yeah. Yes. Joe says, in my day, we had to mine our own copper. Oh, yes. Yes, Suomi's right. Yeah, we won't want them to burn their lips. Oh, heavens no, while they're trying to get high. Oh. Jim is saying back in the days of motorized car antennas, they used to use the antenna sections as crack pipes. Yes. My grandmother and I believe, I think my grandma, when she had her car in Brooklyn, used to get like screwed with a lot. So it doesn't surprise me. Demon's Wrath says they use the chapstick for busted cheeks. Should be called clapstick. Yeah. Yep. It's a good one. Sheeple Hunter says stuff with stuff. It's poetry. People had people. We have our own Whitmans and our own Chaucers walking among us, and we don't even know it. Hey, yes. You walk up to it, it's like, excuse me. Yes, I'll have one crack, please. Garrett's gonna be like Chris Rock's like, how much for just a half a crack? How much for just for one rib? Kim Monai says, oh, where did that go? God, I missed it. Yes. Kim Monai says gourmet crack is an egg on it. Yeah, it comes with some shallots on there. Shallot pepper. Fuck says, yeah. Can you just pour the crack in my hand? Oh, there's a couple of super chats rolling in. For people, apparently people like to talk about crack. Oh, going back to the whole Trump thing, Nick Naylor for $2. Thank you. Says, so the train thing worked. What do I do now? Well, first of all, you lower your voice. Second thing you do, you're going to have to kind of freestyle it from there. I don't feel like catching a conspiracy charge. The amateur iconoclast for $5. Thank you for the super chat. Says, bring back opium dens. Well, I mean, bring back licensed opium dens. Unhung Hair for $2 says, is this the 5 o'clock free crack giveaway? My best Dave Chappelle voice. And then President-elect 4 Doors, More Horrors for $4.99. Thank you. He's saying the CIA started the crack industry, and now New York is trying to put honest crack pipe dealers out of business. The American dream is truly dead. Yeah, it is. It is. So, it's one for America. Lady Liberty, her tears can't be contained anymore. Metal Matt says that those crack pipes for burning lips, they weren't Hunter approved. Jeez. Track Golfer says, have you tried crack? I mean, we're going to have to. I really wish I could have my, I'd be like, Murray, my producer Murray, tighten up on me. I mean, look at me. Do I look like I've tried crack? I mean, really. Think about it. Like, what are they cutting that crack with, Crisco? Because that's probably about the only way I could have tried crack and look like what I look right now. I mean, I'm just saying. If I'd been trying crack, I'd be a little more svelte than I am. So might not be too bad overall. Just saying. Eric says, I put crack on cheeseburgers. Maybe. You're saying I could have given up? Well, I mean, crackheads don't give up. They keep being crackheads. I mean, if I was losing weight, I'd be like, it's kind of like math. It's like, wait, you lose how much weight? Doesn't sound too bad some days. Saying fraud says we could criminalize crack as a weight loss tool. Yeah, it'll just be like Ozempic. Except Ozempic kind of kills other habits. So yes, except unlike all these other drugs where it's like you can lose weight, but it'll cause you to literally shit your brains out, literally your brains, and you die. Just with crack, it's like side effects of crack might be a habit to steal everything and losing all your teeth, but you will lose the weight. Harper Warble says, and it's like the movie Thinner. Yeah. Biden's growing amyloid levels. Yes. Don't ever stop being my favorite pog. Aw. There. Need the ooh-woo in the background. Ooh-woo. Ooh-woo. Sheeple Hunter, though, says, I have 13 months clean from meth. Lost 95 pounds since I got clean. Congratulations. Really, I truly mean that. That's good. That's a lot of work. And I know it's probably not easy. So keep up the good work. And yeah, just remember every day, one day at a time. So congratulations on 13 months, though. Also, congratulations on 95 pounds. That's a shame, says crack is cheap. I make too much money to ever smoke crack. Let's get that straight, okay? Yes, rip to a real one. Oh. Hero for $2 says the peanut butter and crack sandwich. Mm-mm. That sounds tasty. Kimbo says, Alyssa, remember to edit in the hard effects. Yeah. Keep taking notes. Alpha Fox, how you doing? Says, Meth will make you build a back deck on your house at 1 a.m. Yes. I've heard such things. I've heard many of these stories. All right. So we're gonna be moving on here to something that I know we talked about at the time it happened. The Nicholas Cruz trial. If you guys don't remember, Nicholas Cruz walked into Parkland High School with a rifle and sadly didn't kill David Hogg. And now we've got him in our midst. All joking aside, he did massacre quite a few people in there. And in response to that, he was charged with the death penalty. And in a weird twist of things, he entered a plea of guilty, but he did not avoid the death penalty part of that. He pled guilty knowing that was going to happen anyway because the state was refusing to drop it. So he did go forward with his death penalty case, which is called the penalty phase. And during that penalty phase, we got to meet his judge, Judge Shearer. And, well, we found out a lot of things about Judge Shearer, mainly that she's a bit of a bitch. And for those of you who don't remember Judge Shearer, we're going to... Where is she? I'm trying to bring this up. Damn it, it switched over. Where is... Oh, come on. I'll bring her picture up. If you guys don't remember her, this was Judge Shearer. A lot of you guys were simping for her, but I don't know why you guys are simping. I mean, look at it. Like, this lady, you could say all that, but there's a lot of spackle on that structure. She could be simping for that, but she putting the spackle on pretty hard. And anyway, she kind of screwed up the Nicholas Cruz trial partway through, screwed up jury selection as it started, so it had to be redone. And then, well, she didn't do a good job at controlling the juries. She didn't do... Real quick, Aussie Overlord, Hayden, how you doing, man? Says, bit of a bitch. The attractive judges usually are. It's a bench coping mechanism. Yeah, yep. Yes. Anyways, good to see you, Hayden. If you guys haven't checked in on Hayden, he runs Aussie Overlord. It's really good. He's surpassed the 15,000 sub mark. I think he's almost over 16. And he is getting ready to come to America. Not yet. He's coming later this summer, but he will be coming. He'll be coming all over the fruited plains. He'll be coming all over Anime Matsuri. I think that's where he's going. But that's people are coming there anyway because all the sweatiness in the cum. But that's where he's going. So if you guys can, I know he's, send him a little bit of love and a little bit of support so he can make it here. He doesn't have to float over on a container ship. He can fly instead. But yes, Judge Shear basically rode the ass of the defense the whole time. During their presentation of evidence, they presented 2 witnesses and said, okay, we're done. She famously got into a fight with them, saying it's unprofessional for them to say, and you know what? Yes, if there would have been a little courtesy saying, hey, we only got 2, but they don't have to. It's not their job. They're the defense. They present and they're done. They don't have to tip their hand to say everything they're doing. And Judge Shear had a really big chip on her shoulders. And the biggest thing that happened was during the closing remarks by the victims who sat there and just shit all over the defense team. Not Nicholas Cruz, but the defense team. Each one of those tampon little fucks, and I get it, your kid died. But all we learned is half those people are insufferable shitbags. You see how you feel when your kid's... It's like, you're such a... You could say that at that time. You sound like a bigger fucking scumbag than Nicholas Cruz. And then we got Fred Gutenberg. So I'm up there crying. It's like, but we can't, and mocking the fact that Nicholas Cruz has criminal rights and constitutional rights the entire time. So they're mocking it, shitting all over everybody the entire time. Just absolutely fucking awful what she did. Absolutely awful. Claude saying, yes, get the spackle vending machine. Yes. Job well done says the lobbyist couple are insufferable. Yes. Eric Foam says the families of victims are insufferable. Trust me, dude. When you have to sit there and, doing defense work, yes, it is insufferable. It is insufferable. But we got to the famous part of her spurting out on the defense when they raised a valid concern and she lost her shit. And actually, I'm going to, you know what? We're not going to use this because I think it's far better to use the YouTube version. We'll find that one because that sounds... Yes, this is... This woman... This was just absolutely unforgivable what she did. So this was in the middle of his trial, and let's see if we've got the audio figured out because I'm getting a little pissed that I can't get it sorted out from here. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
To help me. Oh, okay. Who's questioning this witness? Hello, which witness? Your next witness.
These don't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, we're just entering them.
These are just records. We're just doing it now.
So is it a secret who's gonna be questioning your next witness? Because I'm gonna find out in like 3 minutes. Who was doing it?
The records don't relate, but if we call the witness, it will be me. I'm assuming you're talking about that.
Who is your next witness and when are they being called and which attorney is going to question them? Let me be clear if I wasn't before. Because if these don't have anything to do with your next witness, then why are we having the jury wait outside right now?
Just because we were trying to move everything in because in terms of timing, we do it now.
In terms of timing, it would be much better to do it during the lunch break when the jury needs.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Wrong one. This is not what she yells at them. This is I think. Sorry.
And I'm encouraging the court to direct the state to tap.
Sorry, we got
And I'm
the wrong
encouraging
one.
the court to direct the state
Here we
to
go.
tap down on that momentum, so it does not reoccur and it does not become a theme. Thank you, Judge.
This is the head public defender bringing up the fact he doesn't like his people getting attacked and crapped on. J-Rock saying, WTF, what happened? Okay, well, we're going to keep going. This is down in Florida, guys. This is where Nicholas Cruz's sentencing phase happened.
Your Honor, for the record, the only thing the state has said to any of these witnesses when they get up is, would they like to say something on behalf of the victim they're representing? There's been no encouraging or inciting, as Mr. Weeks has put on this record. That is a blatant falsehood and a recreation of the record as far as no objections being made.
Now, see, at that point, as a representative of the state, she should make sure these victims, once they started going off the rails, should have grabbed them all and said, look, you guys can't do that. You guys are not allowed to denigrate the court. You're not allowed to denigrate defense counsel. If you want to be, you have to have a modicum of respect and professionalism. So for them to sit there and say, well, it's out of our hands is an absolute bullshit cope. And for this prosecutor to say it is absolutely pathetic.
It's the defense that could have objected. It's not the state's duty to object to their own witnesses when they're testifying.
Okay. I listen, I've already heard. If you have anything else to say, you can put it in writing at a later time. I've heard from both sides more than once. That's going to be it. I've made my decision. Like I said, 99% of what's been testified to has been appropriate. I do not want to highlight the few things that were said that were perhaps not appropriate, and let's move on.
Judge, I'm asking for 20 seconds.
You can have as many seconds as you want in writing, and you can put all of your objections in writing. They've been made multiple times from your chief assistant, from Ms. McNeil, and I don't want to hear anything else. I've already heard it. Is there something that has not already been argued?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, exactly what is it?
Judge, before Mr. Schachter took the podium and testified before this court, I wanted to reflect that both Mr. Marcus and Mr. Satz looked at the statement prior to the reading. And so their implicit adoption of what he was saying, of this improper arguments, when the court should have.
Okay, but what you are doing right now is highlighting something and making more of a spectacle. So if your office in general.
His job is to highlight when the court's allowing the state to commit malfeasance. That's his job. But once again, she was a prosecutor, so it's like, I don't think she understands that all the way.
General does not want to facilitate and or incite violence, then we need to just sit down and move on. That's it.
So instead of having people inciting violence, we're just going to ignore it and move on, not say, don't do that. No, we're going to move on. I'm sure that's brilliant logic when she was putting on her eyeliner and getting her Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Brilliant jurisprudence there from the bench.
There were 18 witnesses, 16 or 18 witnesses that testified today. There was nothing that was said until Ms. McNeil made her point made, and, you know, we're moving on.
But is the court going to do anything about maybe stopping it from happening again?
When these people are upset about specific things that have gone on from that table, like shooting the middle finger up at this court and laughing and joking, Ms. McNeil, be quiet. When these people have sat in this courtroom and watched this behavior from that table, and they want to say that they're not happy about it, what is the problem?
Judge, I have no problem because I have thick skin. But once you bring in my children, I think that's highly improper.
I didn't even know you have children. I don't know what you're talking about. Your children? What about your children?
And apparently this is when Helen Keller completely ignored the fact that their children were threatened by the victims.
For them to comment on my children is highly improper, and for this court to allow that kind of testimony is also improper. I don't remember any comments about any children, and if there was, it obviously didn't
It came and went without me noticing it.
Judge, I can assure you that if they were talking about
That's because you're a dumb cunt.
your children, you would definitely notice it.
You need to sit down right now. You're out of line. In fact, you're excused. You need to go sit in the back with your chief public defender.
He's the public defender.
Mr. Weeks, please ask the lawyer from your office to go sit down and not say anything else. To try to threaten my children and bring up my children is inappropriate. Go to the back of the room now.
And notice that I think, you know, I hate this guy say this, but this is like kind of one of those, I hate doing this, but it's one of them. It's, hashtag woman moment. Saying, Your Honor, they shouldn't be allowed to threaten me. You wouldn't allow them to threaten your kids. Oh my God, you're threatening my kids. I mean, honey, you are not helping female judges anywhere by doing this. Not at all, honey. Now, she does have the right to govern her courtroom, but like sweet, sugar britches. Come on now. You can act heavy-handed when you're moderating your OnlyFans page, but you got to have some fairness and understanding and cognitive thought and cognitive process when you're on the bench or you're in a courtroom. We expect a little bit more out of you. Just saying.
That just violated about every rule of professional responsibility that I have never. If you're going to get up here and you're going to
cite which rules of professional responsibility that violated, Judge Sugar Buns. Which ones? The rule against, oh my God, you can't make me feel triggered or pressured? Like totes. Guys, we're going to get to what happened to her.
Judge, I asked you to go sidebar on this matter.
You sidebar or not?
I love that part where the public defender's like, I asked you to go sidebar about this, but you didn't want that, so this is your fault. And it goes on for her spurging for about another minute. So, what did she do there? Well, she put a lot of things in jeopardy, and sure, there's going to be some appealable issues at the sentencing hearing. Now, for Nicholas Cruz, he did get life in prison without parole, so I mean, it's not like it's going to get, he either gets that or death. In the meantime, Judge Schuer has resigned, but that did not stop the Florida Supreme Court from getting involved, and rightfully so. So what do we know? Well, there was a notice of formal charges filed in front of the Florida Judicial Qualifications Commission. Okay, and it was to the Honorable Elizabeth Scheer, the panel of the investigative panel of the Florida Judicial Qualifications Commission, decided to instigate formal proceedings over her conduct in the state versus Nicholas J. Cruz. During the penalty phase and at sentencing, your conduct was at times intemperate and gave the appearance of impartiality to the prosecution. What did she do? Well, she chastised the defense a bunch when they announced that they were done presenting evidence. They attempted to, the defense counsel raised arguments attempting to curtail vitriolic comments directed at them during sentencing by the family members. You acknowledge some of the appropriate comments were inappropriate, but failed to take action to stop the comments or enforce the prosecutor's obligations under the Florida statutes. And it's funny because remember that prosecutor said, it's not our job. Well, apparently state law requires that you advise victims shall relate to the facts of the case and the extent of any harm and any matter relevant to an appropriate disposition and sentence. Because that's what you're supposed to do as a prosecutor. When I worked as a prosecutor and people were going to give statements, I told them, make sure you focus on this and that. If you have problems with other things, you can't bring that up. That's improper. And I always try to tell them, like, you could set up an appeal where this guy walks. But apparently these prosecutors didn't want to do that. I don't know. Once again, it was like a tampon storm in there when you watched that live. And some of you guys were there watching it with me. It was an absolute dumpster fire and a violation of Nicholas Cruz's rights. And part of me hopes the Florida Supreme Court's like, no, you're free. Just so those people learn not to be pieces of shit like that, because they acted like almost as big, to go in there and stomp all over the Constitution. That's on par with somebody going and hosing down a room full of kids. Those are both equally fucked up things. Both equally fucked up. And then here, this part here, talking about threatening children. You responded by accusing him of threatening the children, and you denied him the ability to represent his client. And then you elected the public defender of instructing him to say that, and that was gonna happen next. And you denied their ability to have a consultation amongst themselves. And then this part here was the worst. At the conclusion of the hearing, she stepped down from the bench and embraced and gave hugs to members of the prosecutor's team and also to the family members of the victims. Literally, she was walking around giving out hugs. Never fucking seen that. Never. No. This ain't a Hallmark movie. It don't work like that. Well, Judge Scheer did agree to, she made stipulations that, yes, she got out of hand. And she got publicly reprimanded. And that she violated multiple judicial canons. Canons 1, 2A, 3B, 3B, and then quite a few of them. And now for judges, they have what are called the canons of judicial conduct. They're like that in every state. They are attorneys, so they're bound by the model rules of professional responsibility in each state, but they have individual rules as judges that are on top of that. It's a separate set of rules they have to follow. Okay? And this is the one good thing here. You guys may not like video, but because there were allegations that she was intemperate to defense counsel, the proceedings were highly publicized, so they were able to review the video and the sworn testimony. This helped. Video helped punish this person from doing shitty things she did, so it did help. They substantiated some allegations. She unduly chastised them, wrongly accused them of threatening her children. And she acknowledged that embracing victims and family members was improper. But listen to this here. Listen to this load of crap. She claims that she offered to embrace defense counsel. Yes, the people you've treated like shit for days on end. I'm sure they want to talk to you, and it's all good like Robin Hood after that. Hey, I'm sorry, for treating you like shit and making you think, wrongfully understanding you threatened my kids. But hey, you want a hug? Let's hug it out. No. Fuck that. Besides, number one. Number two, and actually, this is number one. As a defense attorney, I ain't ever going to be seen hugging a judge. No. That ain't good for the brand. I mean, like, even I don't care if that judge just find out, like, oh my God, my whole family got killed in a car crash. Sitting on the bench, I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I ain't coming to give you a hug. Especially if I got clients in the room, that ain't happening. Now, maybe if I see you later, like out and about on the store, I'll be like, hey, Judge, I'm so sorry to hear about that. Or, like in chambers, I could see that maybe. But like doing all that, it was just bullshit. And the reason why things got worse is subsequently coming up after this hearing, after Nicholas Cruz's case, there was a hearing for a guy accused of murder trying to get out of prison. And during that hearing, she asked one of the prosecutors, how are you holding up? Are you okay? And that, like, she had to be recused from that case. You can't do this. You can't act like, a white woman who picks up all the shelter dogs on the bench. You got to be tough. You have to be fair. So what do we know what else happened to her? They determined that she should be disqualified. And this was the case where she cited the same behavior, Tunador v. State. The commission points out that they were emotional and highly contentious. Sure. But as they point out, however, regardless of the gravity of the accusations, the judge expects a judge will ensure due process, order, decorum, and always acts with dignity, respect, and to promote the integrity and impartiality of the judiciary. You have to. If people have no faith in the judiciary to do their job and be that backstop, okay, let's be fair. Not a lot of us have faith in the judiciary anymore. But just in general, for the normies too, especially for all the normies out there, for all the kids with the pumped up kicks, they have to have that impartiality. They have to believe the courts are going to be fair. And she did nothing to help protect that. I will give her credit in her testimony afterwards. She admits she fell short of the high bar of that's there. And she admitted that her treatment was not patent, dignified, or courteous. I give her some credit. She also admits that this created a bias against one party, and that tarnishes public confidence in the judiciary. And I will say, in her defense, this was her first death penalty case. Yeah, this ain't one you should yeah, that shouldn't be your first one. But that's where, if you're a judge, you should be like, look, I can't do this. If she had the integrity at the beginning, she should have said, look, I'm recusing myself. This is way outside of what I can do. It's one thing to have a death penalty case, and they're trained on all that, how to do a death penalty case. But this being your first death penalty case, oof. Yeah, that's a little rough. It's like your first time it's like your first time going into combat being the Battle of Kursk. That may not be the best time ever. But, or like you're a firefighter and your first, like this actually did happen. There's some guy in the New York Fire Department, his first day was September 11th. Like, there are better days to be your first day. This shouldn't have been her first time out. So as a discipline, she had an unblemished record and she cooperated, which I don't know if you guys ever watched Learning French, or I think Kurt's gone over some of this stuff. If you admit to violating the rules, that is a very big thing. You cooperate. You don't obstruct. That is important. But she damaged the system in ways that can't easily be cured. Okay, so what's it sound like? Well, they talk about that there was a judge was forced to appear before a public reprimand based upon their display of inappropriate behavior. And they cite this case here. And a public reprimand was determined to be the appropriate discipline for a judge's rude or intemperate behavior in open court. Okay. There is, and this is where they point out, the difference between a judge and a litigant requires that a judge treat a litigant with courtesy, patience, and understanding. And that's the difference. I'm in there. I'm bound by the rules of professional responsibility. But I also got my job to do. And the judge has to handle that. If they can't, they got to get off the bench. So, with that said, she has also resigned, but they talk about it, and the facts and the interest will be served by a public reprimand. I don't know how they do that in Florida, but yeah, she may have to come in and sit there and get lambasted, which she deserves. So she'll come in and get all spackled up, and we'll see it. Pie Case says you collaborate. I mean, cooperate. I hate that word collaborate. When they talk about in like corporate settings, we need to collaborate together. No. People, you collaborate with the Nazis. You cooperate. I hate the word collaborate. It's like synergy. It's a horrible word. Same she didn't violate Rule 34. Oh, I bet she has. I bet she got an OnlyFans. Okay, Hans One Pack over on Rumble says, even on OnlyFans, judge no hugs. J-Man says, do they print reprimands in your local bar journals for all to see? Yes, and that's not the common anymore because of the internet, but yes, that is part of it. Used to be a big thing when those were out there. Shoot. Jim says, what if the judge had declared a mistrial with prejudice? Oh, God. That would be, if she had done that. Well, she wouldn't. And that was not, you can't do a mistrial. A mistrial prejudice there, I think, would be, that was something the state could appeal, and I bet that would get overturned. She probably could have done a mistrial, but I don't know. Pike says, are judges in Florida elected or appointed? That's the thing, though. It doesn't really matter. I think in Florida they're elected, and I think judges should be elected. You should have a direct role in as many elected officials in your life as possible, and a judge is a critical one, because if you don't elect them, they're appointed by your governor, okay, or maybe through your state legislator. Well, that means you've elected a guy who then makes decisions for another branch of government that you have to deal with. And I don't think that's right. You should have your hands in as many parts of the government as you can. Okay, well, yeah, they can be crooked running for. They're going to be just as crooked in game playing when they're trying to jerk off the governor's judicial selection committee or whatever people in your state house to get picked. So I don't think it matters too much. I don't think it matters too much. I would just be careful about wanting that there. That's a shame. Says I have a little video of that. Where can I send it? I think you've got my email. Send it to my email. I'll take a look at it. Gregory for $5. Thank you. By the way, says 20 minutes behind regarding crack. Rob Ford, the deceased former mayor of Toronto. He wasn't exactly thin. Please watch the videos of him smoking. Entertaining. Oh, I thought he was like a former crack addict, but if he smoked them all fat, I guess I'll stand corrected. Unknown hero for $2 says I can fix her. You go for it, brother. You go for it. Let me see here. Alpha Fox says the defense attorney should have gone for a hug. Yeah, I wouldn't have at that point. I would have hoped she got hit by a bus or the lights would have fallen on her or she tripped coming off the bench. This is who we are. Says I would have copped a feel. Rich G says ironic given her baseless accusations against the defense for ethics violations. Yes. They yeah. I think she should have a little more of a reprimand, but she also removed herself from the bench. So I think that kind of made it easier for them that they didn't have to suspend her. But I think that would have been a good thing ever. So, who is it on here? Dark Lotus says, why ever have a professional or personal relationship with the judge ever? That's insane. I mean, think about it this way, though. I mean, a judge normally runs from the community they're in. So generally they're an attorney and you've dealt with them before. Well, then they become a judge. You develop professional relationships and sometimes personal relationships. Attorneys start firms and partnerships together. They start them, dissolve them. They may work together on cases. They raise kids in the same community. All that. I mean, people develop bonds. I mean, there's, I'm getting to the point now where I've been in areas long enough and practicing long enough. People I know are becoming magistrates and becoming judges. So yeah, there's actually a judge or two. If I were to show up in front of them, I've got a history with them. Pretty good history. There's one or two. I'm not in front of them anymore, but I talk to them all the time. And if I show up in front of them, I mean, I'm just saying, they're still my friends. They were friends before they became the one who became a judge. He's still my friend. He was my friend before he became a judge. So I can't, what am I supposed to do? Be like, sorry, bro. Listen, bruv. I can't be your friend no more. No, it doesn't work like that. So Jim is saying, no, that was for you to hug the judge. Oh. Swami's saying the popular election of senators has been awful. I mean, that's a separate matter. I'm not talking about the senators, but at your local government level, you should have a say in as much as possible. Mystery Sniper says, my state's all appointed. Yeah, I don't like that. Justin says, do I want my hands on all the government's orifice? Oh, I want my hand up their sphincter, dude. I'll play him like a puppet. I'll make him sound like Kermit the Frog if I have to. The Brooks Judge v. Shearer. Brooks' judge was better. So, no, you guys are awful. No, he was not in the bone zone. In a dovetailing of what happened to Judge Shearer, a trial started yesterday in over a over the over. This is probably
This popular procedure. What does NBC say?
and that is the trial of Scott Peterson, the ex-Broward County deputy charged in the shooting. And for those of you who don't remember, Peterson was the on-campus armed police officer, the school resource officer. And during the 6-minute rampage, he sat outside. He didn't engage. He hid like a little bitch and didn't help while people were getting murdered. And he had, La Pistola, a chance to go put in some work and be a hero. He chose not to be. Guys, and this is not the same Scott Peterson. So, JC Adult saying Kurt's following this. Yeah, I'm going to start trying to follow it a little bit because it's starting. And a jury of 4 women and 2 men will decide the case. And remember, Florida allows juries of less than 12 people. So that's why he's only got 6. Peterson's charged with 7 counts of felony child neglect for 4 students killed and 3 wounded. He's also charged with misdemeanor culpable negligence for the adult shot on the 3rd floor, including a teacher and an adult student who died. He also faces a perjury charge for lying to investigators. He could get a century in prison if convicted on the neglect counts and lose his $104 annual pension. I mean, God, it pays good to be a little cowardly son of a bitch. Little kids are getting shot in the face, and you're like, well, I guess, you guys should understand that now. After Uvalde, the police ain't coming to save you. Protect and serve, as I learned many years ago on an internet forum, frequented by law enforcement, is just a slogan. The only thing they're protecting and serving is their pension. They're not going to sacrifice anything for little Sally getting braces. They want to protect that dental plan. They're going to protect that pension. Their first job is to go home at the end of the night. So, yeah, good stuff. Eric Singh, was he a cop or security? No, he was a Broward County Sheriff's deputy, a certified law enforcement officer in the state of Florida who was there to be the school resource officer. Jacob Pete says, Castle Rock v. Gonzalez. That is suing them in a civil context. That is not a criminal context. Castle Rock was about suing them, holding them liable under civil theories. This is not that. This is not that. There are states where, you do have obligations to respond. Now, I do have some issues with this case. Hearing how things are set up, I don't know if this felony child neglect here is really what it's meant for. I have a feeling that, from my reading the statute, I don't think it's going to work. I don't know if this will hold up on an appeal. I kind of get the feeling remember, guys, this is where we talk about it. Is this the proper application of the law? Is this what the law is meant to do? I'm kind of on this one. I mean, remember, he's a piece of shit. We'd love to see him punished. The fact that he has not sat there and stared at the muzzle of his pistol and finally said, I wonder what it tastes like finally, and Robloxed himself, which I'm surprised he hasn't. I mean, let's be real. That is, fate called him up to, the wheel of fate spun and landed at his feet. He had a chance to stand tall and he passed. I mean, I'm surprised he's still alive at this point. But is this the proper thing? I don't know if this is a proper charge. I don't know Florida case law well enough. Kind of leaning against it. They had some dereliction of duty statute, sure. But, in this culpable negligence, I don't know. Don't know. Do I think it's... Yeah. Yeah. So we'll find out. Peterson claims that he would have confronted the gunman, but he thought the shots were coming from a sniper, perhaps firing from nearby trees. I'm sure, Scott. I'm sure. I want the truth to come out, and if it's going to be a trial, so be it. Not only the people in Florida, the country, but most importantly, the families, they need to know the truth about what happened, because unfortunately, it's never been told. Yeah, you have fun with that, Scott. You have fun with that. So, but that's why, like I said, guys, I don't know. I'm still not sure. This is, he's a piece of shit, sure, but on here for $5 says apparently the last name Peterson makes you likely to face felonies. How many is it in this national case? Is 5? Yeah, there's a lot of Petersons getting charged. Very true. Debbie O for $10. Thank you. Says I'm not sure he's guilty, and like I said, I think morally he's guilty, but under the legal standards, do I think this is the proper application of the law? I'm not sure. Watch some of the evidence and tell us if you still think he's a coward. Yes. No. Hold on. Wait. Time out. When there is an active shooter, your job is to take la pistola, or if you happen to have a rifle or a shotgun or whatever you're armed with, you go in and you start hunting. That is tactical training to deal with an active shooter response that is trained nowadays. You go in and you fight. You don't sit there and wait. You go in and start moving. You move to attack, because the moment you move to attack, generally they give up or they kill themselves. But the moment you're engaging them, they're not hurting innocent people. You've got body armor and a big shiny gun. We give that to you for a reason. You're supposed to fight fucking bad guys. If you can't handle that shit, go hang it up and go golf. Instead, this cocksucker soaked up a fucking pension, while little kids got baptized by Nicholas fucking Cruz. Oh, I thought I was a sniper. Bull fucking shit. You'd have been hearing muffled gunfire from inside the school. Bullshit. We get it. You didn't want to go in there. Oh, I can't do that. It's like, you know what? Great. Just like you and the cucky, Uvalde cops. Faggots the lot of you. But the people trusted you to do your job, and you didn't do it. You took the money and didn't do the work. Where I come from in Ohio, that makes you a bum-ass motherfucker. That's what it makes you. Scott Peterson, I hope you hear this. You're a coward. You are a dick-sucking little coward. Coward. You may escape man's justice, but you won't escape God's. More importantly, you got to stare at the man in the glass for the rest of your life. So have fun with that every day. I'm sure you have to talk yourself up that you did what was right and you're proud of what you did. And I'm sure it falls apart after 10 seconds of staring in the mirror. So you rock on best you can. Debbie O says, are you muted or is it me? I'm assuming, I think it's you, because everybody else, we can still hear me, right? Oh, is you? Okay, sorry, Debbie. But yes, thank you for the $10. Thank you. If you just typed that in, we could have. But thank you for a super chat again. Yeah, thank you for all the mutings now. But yes, this, I hope you hear this. You were a coward. Those kids died because you didn't fucking sack up. Or I don't know, you didn't take your tampon and cat's cradle a string and pick up all your, loose sloppy pussy lips and tie them up so they didn't drag in the dirt. You didn't do whatever's necessary to get your ass in the fight. Take that gun that nobody else is allowed to have in the school because we trusted you to be there. Hey man, we're giving you this gun. You're the only one allowed here to have a gun. Why? Because you're the only one going to be here when shit goes down. And then you just hid behind a wall. Pussy. Now that said, if you get convicted of this, like, hey, and it's not the application of law, then I hope you walk. But you should own it for what you done. A job well done says he's protecting the public at large. Winter Soldier is right. Yes, he kept Nicholas Cruz contained in the school by covering that outdoor hallway. So he made sure he could only kill people inside the school. Yeah, that was his brilliant tactic. Well, see, I figured if I sacrificed all the kids in the school, nobody else would get hurt. He'd run out of ammo. Maybe that's going to be his defense. Maybe that'll be his defense. I hope to God he doesn't do that. I really don't. That's not good. That's not good at all if he tries that. Oh, Joe says yes, we are Jeff. Thanks. Tacticalism says I didn't feel like fighting in Panama. Didn't feel like it in Liberia. Didn't feel like it in Liberia. Definitely didn't in Mogadishu, but I did it. Yeah. That's when it's your job. You got to do what your job is, and especially like people are relying on you. All those kids, they knew all those kids knew they had an armed cop on school grounds. I'm sure those kids were wondering, where the fuck is this guy? That had to be that's probably one of the more tragic things out of this. How many of those people who got shot and the kids who got murdered were like, where the fuck's the police officer? Where's Officer Peterson? He's got a gun. Is he already dead? No, he was sitting out hiding with snipers. That's the sad part. Fool's Error for $4.99. Thank you. Saying no pity for cowards. Yeah. Unhung Hero says don't trust the fucking cops. Yes. That's a shame. Says, they were. One of them testified about it today. Yeah, I was going to review it and try to do a couple day recap probably tomorrow. But yeah, that I can't only imagine. We thought he was going to be there to save us, and he didn't. So, Kimbo Nice says, I feel for him. I hate the snipers in COD as well. Yeah, I really hate the snipers in Counter-Strike myself. But yes, the COD snipers are the worst. Especially when they try to no-scope. Okay. I just thought it was interesting. That is kind of the bookend to the whole Parkland saga. What happens here? Because we had Nicholas Cruz and now we have this. And it's interesting how after Nicholas Cruz, this is kind of happening, but nobody's really publicizing it. Whereas I feel they should be shouting this man's name from the rooftop every day. This should be national television. Yes. Eric Foam's like, yeah, he didn't want to move. He's like, I thought he was spawn camping. So, yes, Justin Smith, the goddamn campers. Yes. Can't trust the campers at all. But it's a legitimate strategy. Remember, it is a legitimate strategy. It still works. Okay. And, as far as bookending things, and sagas that we're learning about, and this is kind of the end of the Jeffrey Epstein saga in a way. We've learned some of the things have been released. We're learning who are in some of those flight logs. And we're also learning nothing's really happened to anybody at this point. Well, we have Ghislane Maxwell. Or Ghislane, or however you pronounce it. Ghislane. We'll go with that. Ghislane Maxwell. Ghislane Maxwell's having a rough time of it all. She fears retaliation after snitching on 2 violent inmates, which don't be snitching in prison. It's really bad. I mean, don't snitch, period. Don't be snitching, period. But you're in prison, don't be snitching. Prison ain't the place to run a gossip column, guys. It ain't. Just free advice. I'm sure a lot of you knew that, but the old adage, snitches get stitches, and we know that's not the case. Snitches sleep in ditches frequently, especially in prison. So she snitched on 2 Cuban women, and she claims that they were extorting her for commissary in exchange for protection, which typically happens. So, I mean, a couple things Lady Ghislane's got to do. She got to bulk up, get some friends, or she might have to pack a banger herself. And, just so you know, if you guys aren't aware, a lot of times, like when you got to pack a shiv, you keister in that. So, she's going to have to walk around with like a 6 or 7 inch bone crusher, up her hooch. Well, maybe not her hooch, but up her butt. I mean, I don't know where she can keister it. I don't know. Maybe she had access to some bad dragon dildos. But yeah, she gonna have to, keister up a bone crusher of her own or a banger if she wants to protect herself. But apparently they've been released, which always happens. The people you snitch on always get out. But she's not going to the showers where she might be attacked. She's being escorted to her job at the prison library by a guard. The Cubans known as Las Cubanas, which that's not a very creative name. I mean, like come on now. No, come on. That's not a good creative name. Anyways, that's Ghislane Maxwell. She's not looking so good now. I mean, compared to the pictures of her before. Oof. She needs that makeup. They will beat her up the first chance they get. Yeah. And I'm sure in that prison library, there's some phone book sized things that'll really help crush her skull. So, yeah. Yeah, there's pictures of her. She's terrified to use the showers. She's been running. She needs to be lifting weights. She needs to hit the pull-up bar. She needs to hit the pull-up bar and working out. She's a strict vegan, which especially she needs to bulk up. She needs to start getting the protein in her when she's hitting the weights. But she's worked with the kitchen staff to steal food. That's always common in prison. But the Cubans tried to shake her down, which is very common, especially when they found out they were going to report her. Yes, Jeff. Yes. Las Cubanas. Yes, Jeff is saying Las Cubanas, a.k.a. the Cubans, also known as the Cubans. Yes. Yes. Yes, Ninja Brand Man says the female Cubans. Yes. Justin Smith says, don't sit down fast. Yeah. Legal Vice says, Jeff, how are you doing again? Says, Ghislane should have just munched. I bet she's doing that anyway. That counts as vegan still, right? Hi-yo. Actually, it should do the McMahon thing. It should be like dice. It should be like, that still counts as vegan, right? Oh! Hickory dickory dock. Justin Smith says, yes, Las Cubanas were not known for their creativity. Mannix T says, she works at the library. Can she make improv armor with books? No, you don't use books, you use magazines, because the magazines will shape to your body a little bit. But yes, you would carry the magazine, stuff them in your pants, and you could take a shiv hit to the groin or the gut. You said she needs to get some protein in her with a straight face. Yes, I did. I'm serious. Because I want to see the epic bum fights video of her and some, like when they come at her and it's time. Like I want to see video of Ghislane Maxwell and these Cuban chicks. Like when there's the get down in the prison yard. I want to see them. I want to see them both whipping out shivs and going at it. So yeah, I want to see her jacked up. She comes out, takes off her shirt, and she's got like Epstein pride blasted on her shoulders. That'd be great. So, Julia543 says magazines and pages, not the other kind of magazines. Yes. Although if she's getting a hold of those kind of magazines, I'm a little curious what the hell's going on in that federal prison. But yes, guys, once again, if you're going to snitch, be very careful of what you do. Recommended that before, and it's, snitches go to ditches. It's where they sleep. Oh, we are running out of time. We're not going to get to everything tonight. I'm not going to get to Dave Ramsey, but that'll be another thing. So, the new terror group running around that's coming out is our good friends at Southern Poverty Law Center, the SPLC. They're not, well, they haven't named themselves a terror group, although they probably should be in reality. The Southern Poverty Law Center adds parental rights groups to hate and extremism report. So yes, the PTA, that dangerous organization, not as bad as the PLA, but close. Yes, the Year in Hate and Extremism, which if you ever want to read it, yeah, it's just absolute nonsense. But yes, schools have been on the receiving end of ramped up and coordinated hard right attacks, frequently through the guise of parents' rights groups. Yes, because not wanting kids learning how to cornhole each other at the age of 7 is such a bad thing. Yeah. It's such a horrible thing to want to be involved in your governmental process, because remember, it's part of the government. The school is a governmental organization. You vote for the school board and they govern the teachers. Yes, and how dare you get involved because you didn't sit there and go get your degree in middle childhood development like they did, because they're truly smart. Yeah. That's the ticket. That's the ticket. Yeah, the groups are in part spurred by right-wing backlash to COVID-19 public safety measures in schools. Okay, yeah. Because people realize how stupid it was to destroy your child's development for this nonsense. Now these kids are ruined. And we're really going to find out how bad they are in the coming years. But they've grown to anti-student inclusion that targets any inclusive curriculum that contains discussions of race discrimination and LGBTQ identities. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yes. They can be spotted carrying signs that say, "We don't co-parent with the government." Once again, how is that a problem? We go from Pink Floyd and "Hey, teacher, leave those kids alone" to, "Oi, they're not yours anymore. How dare you? I have a master's in childhood education. I know what's best for these kids." Yes, that's an extremist group saying we don't co-parent with the government. We raise our own children. Yes, that's extremism. Although, to be fair, this lady does kind of look like a Karen a little bit. I'm just saying. Doesn't help things there, the groups hijack meetings. Preventing officials from conducting their own proceedings. Or is that because they're ignoring these people and these people are standing up and disrupting school boards that routinely violate sunshine laws and rules of order, Robert's Rules of Order, which they're supposed to use? So parents are standing up. It's also funny, the whole right-wing hysteria here they're talking about, where, you saw in LA recently, like as of this past week, where Armenian parents and then Muslim parents were out there objecting to LGBTQ, XYZ, whatever, hyperdrive, identity inclusion. Is that all hard right now? Whatever. I do like how the SPLC does no longer have a white guy there, which I always thought that was hilarious. Exposing a concerted effort by hate groups and extremist actors to terrorize communities, gain control of public institutions by any means necessary. The interesting thing is, that's a a cynical man or a thinking man like me actually would say that's a great self-report on the SPLC. But I'm sure the SPLC completely lost the irony there. The government is not the cake boss. True. Love free speech. Yup. Yes. Yes. Parental rights groups calling these women extremists. Yes. The government is not in charge of you. Such a horrible thought. Loving free speech. There you go. Once again, it's some Nazis and their free speech. I mean, that's how it started. When Hitler said, hey, man, you can say what you want, bro. I'm not going to penalize you. That's how the Nazis started. Oh. And it's funny because name-calling parents are only part of their child's education as hate groups. Further exposes battle about who gets to decide what's taught to our kids in schools. The parents are government employees. Yeah, and that's right. The parents are the ones in charge. The voters are the ones in charge. So, yeah, if the voters don't want it, guess what? Guess what? Jim says, yes, the SPLC funds Antifa and provides them with lawyers. Yes, they do. They work with the National Lawyers Guild. Aussie Overlord says, PTA, good. We're getting to one step closer to labeling the true terrorists HOAs. Yeah, HOAs have their good and bad. My HOA is not too bad. My HOA is not too bad. Charlie Kirk just called for all presidential candidates to suspend their campaigns and show up in Miami tomorrow, January 6th, part 2. Yeah. Charlie Kirk glows. All that radiation causes forehead to get so big. So that's, yeah. That's a shame, says, God. Ooh, this is, whew. Well, I got to pour some water into this one. I need to take a big drink of water out here. This is spicy. Whew, Lord child. So government co-parenting via the schools is only bad when it's Native Americans involved. Ooh. Oh, God, that didn't help at all. I need some milk or bread. Ooh. That was spicy. Holy shit. Jim says, check locals. I will take a look. All right, we only got a couple more minutes left, guys. We're going to focus on Gavin Newsom. I don't know if is he going to run for president? I don't really know. Maybe. I mean, he says he's going to run, but what's going to happen? Is he going to bump Biden out? Not sure. But we get to see what he wants to propose out of the office of the California governor. He proposes a historic 28th Amendment to the United States Constitution to end America's gun violence crisis. Now, for those of you who are literature readers, you might remember a guy named Matthew Bracken who talks about there was a Freedom from Gun Violence Amendment. Although that happened as part of a mob running a constitutional convention. God, it's like this guy was a fucking prophet. Anyway, I digress. I propose a 28th Amendment to the United States Constitution to enshrine broadly supported gun safety measures in the law while leaving the Second Amendment unchanged and respecting America's gun-owning tradition, which includes a tradition of shooting government agents. Just saying. It includes, what do we learn? The 20th Amendment would enshrine a couple of things here. At least what they're claiming doesn't mean that's all of it. Raising the federal minimum age to purchase a firearm from 18 to 21. Nope. Mandating universal background checks to fully prevent truly dangerous people from purchasing a gun that can be used in a crime. Nope. Instituting a reasonable waiting period for all gun purchase. Nope. Barring civilian purchase of assault weapons that serve no purpose other than kill as many short people in amount of time. Weapons of war our nation's founders never foresaw. That's big nope for me. Big old nope. Nope on a rope. 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 It's just a back scratcher. This is just back scratching. Nope on a rope. Nope on a rope. You know, the funny thing is, this back scratcher here, if I had gone, you could transport me back to like the Battle of Trenton. I could have shown up in Washington's camp with one of those, and his first thought would have been to me, where can I get 500 of those right now? He probably would have said, I will pull out my wooden dentures and give you a blowy to have access to those right now. So, and he'd even pick out the splinters to make sure it's pleasant. Just saying. Yes, this has no chance of being ratified, but this shows you, like, you would never have heard. Think about it, guys. 10, 15 years ago, holy shit, nobody would have ever done something like this. Even 5 years ago, nobody would have done something like this. It's getting interesting. It's getting interesting. That's all I got to say. So, yeah, get some, Gavin. Get some, you know. SCOTUS is coming for your ass. SCOTUS is coming for Callie's gun laws. That's all I can say. Clarence and Sammy and the boys, even Amy, they're gearing up, man. It's coming for you. One day soon. I'm concealed carrying my way through California and New York City. It's going to be brilliant. So. Silver Smurfer says, okay, yeah, the super chat here. How much rice is that by Legal Vices? Legal Vices for 20,000 won. Is it won? It's won, right? Won. Not like Juan, the guy who might do your drywall. But Juan, W-O-N, I think. For 20,000 won. Thank you for the support, by the way. Says for PC's eventual defense fund. Smash and like and subscribe, you degenerates. Thank you. And guys, if you didn't remember, I mentioned earlier when we started, I will be joining Jeff tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. just to talk and hang out. And Fair Frozen 55 for $5. Thank you again for your support. Says, just because of this fig, I'm looking into getting a Draco for Matt. Ooh. Can't be in the Lord's caliber because they don't sell 5 for a 5 here. It's not banned. It's just there's probably no 545 in Puerto Rico, I would assume. But 7.62x39 is available. Well, good luck. Enjoy your Draco. It's the thinking man's pistol. Eric, it's a publicity stunt still. It's a publicity stunt, but you wouldn't have seen this years ago. Years ago, this would not have happened. This would have been political suicide. And real quick, I'm going to check through. Okay. I'm going through locals chat a little bit here. Oh, okay. So Brimstone for $10 over in locals. A man was arrested for charging illegals $200 and then guiding him to ICE detention centers. I think it's because of the $200 he was charging. But yes, he shouldn't have been arrested for that. He's doing God's work. The Brimstone for another $10 says the Komatsu D355A Haynes repair manual. Yes. Yes, good old Uncle Marv definitely probably read his way through that more than once before he ascended his way to up to immortality in Valhalla. Oh my God, you guys are awful. Yes, Mr. K, I see that. Cheese and rice. Cheese and rice. Oh, we're done. We're done with that. I'm not gonna look over there anymore for now. So guys, that is it for tonight. If you guys want to join me afterwards here, we will be over on locals, potentiallycriminal.locals.com, hanging out for a little bit, just talking, having some fun. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., we'll be on with Jeff. And then from there, actually should have some time to actually get stuff done. I know I keep saying that, but no, I actually do have some time. So there should be some good videos coming out. You guys can't wait to see. To the Ukrainian military, I hope you guys manage to unfuck yourselves. Otherwise, oof, this is not good. Just saying, you guys got to figure that out. Everybody here on Rumble, thank you so much, you guys. Yes, there is oh, you're talking about she's not, yes. Yes, prison is not lesbian paradise, not like you think. But yes, good night to everybody there. Everybody here on Facebook, thank you. Like, share, subscribe, guys. I always appreciate it. To the replay crew, thanks a lot, you guys, for being around. Everybody who has been in here, your comments have been greatly appreciated. I so much. Thank you. And to everybody super chats, you guys, I appreciate it. I love the support. Really means a lot to me. And until next time, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Good night, everybody.